Silent night. Holy. I just finished playing badminton and mm, mm, handball for the first time. That was cool. Since like middle school. Mm, I'm sweaty. Have some things to say. I recorded the first 30 seconds of this already, but then my laptop said my battery was critically low and couldn't record anymore, so I recorded whatever I just said. I said earlier, but with a little more pizzazz. Because I like said I played badminton, and then the thing that I wanted to say came to my mind, so then I was really excited, and I was like, I have some things to say. But now, since I already know the thing to say, I'm less excited about it. Oh, there's so many ants in my room. What the heck? Give me a sec. That's actually pretty sick. There's not a lot of ants, but there's 8 ants like moving this beetle. So then it look like a ton of ants, but it's just these ants put in work. Should I move my shoe to make it easier for them? Should I get in the way of nature and make their lives easier? Yeah, because it's not like they're like on the way to kill them. I don't know. I don't know how it works. They really grabbed one. They grabbed each ant grabbed one leg. That's actually such a vibe. There is a really regenerative part of nature, which is pretty cool. I've been like they've been talking a lot about sustainability here, so I feel like that lesson is kind of sinking in on my head, which is kind of crazy. Like if you hear something valued enough, your brain starts to value it more. I mean, okay, that's not crazy, but like your value system simply is just what's said the most. It's not like what's actually valuable. If you hear people say sustainability enough times around you, you're going to start valuing it way more than other things. I feel like a lot of environments I'm in don't talk about sustainability, but they may value it a lot, but they don't talk about it. It's not like kind of at the forefront of everything they do. Now the ants are moving in the opposite direction. This is why humans are lit. Oh, they do that. Unless they figured out, I don't know, the door is closed. And it was already closed. There's no escape on the other way they're going, so I don't know. Okay, now they're moving the opposite direction. Mm, that last idea was basic. What's a basic idea? Hey. Okay, so let's talk about this badminton thing. So I've been playing a lot of sports here, and it's crazy how you can be decent at one and so bad at another, and it also depends who you're playing against to define that bad. So like I'm playing with four of the teachers, and they're all really good. Like I don't know, like where do you just how do you just become that good at badminton? Like I don't understand. Such a obscure sport, you know? Like, but they're so good. They're like really, really good. And so I'm playing with them, and I'm getting whooped. I'm getting like it's like one of those games where there's some games where like even if you're way worse, I'm trying to think of what's a good example of this. I think Civ is a good example where even if you're way worse, you can like play and like think you're doing okay and then get smashed later. But at least there's like opportunity for you to start. Same with chess. Like you can play at least a 30, 40 moves before, what 20 moves if you even know basic stuff against someone really good. But in badminton, if you're not that good, on your serve, it's getting smashed. That's the same thing with tennis, table tennis, badminton. It's one of those games where it's like you have no chance. Like you can't even get on the board, like let alone like play. And so Like I got slightly better at my serves, I think. You have to like hit it like this where it's so gentle and it just goes right over so they can't smash it back. Even if it goes if like the net's here, it's supposed to go like this and drop right over. Even if it goes like this and goes a little over, boom, smashed right back. And I'm like, I can't do anything. And so sucking is like really an interesting thing because I think as you grow up, you just suck less because you don't do things that require you to suck that much. And so, and also like if I played against like kids, I would be decent. I'm good enough. Like I can hit the ball. I can relatively. I'm not terrible. I have hand-eye coordination, but like I can't play against people better than me, and that's with anything. But the school has been talking a lot about competition and the value of competition. And I've been thinking a lot about that and understanding what is good, when is competition, useful, when is it not. And so I play basketball as well, and most of these kids haven't played that much, and I played a lot growing up, and so it's not that I'm good in the U.S. standard. I mean, I get mobbed anytime. I get mobbed anytime I on the court, but here I'm okay. I'm good. I'm the best here, right? I mean, against 12th grade, 11th grade kids, like the bar is not high, but yeah. Um, so does it feel good when you play? So for me, because of my club fee and whatever, I feel like when I play, I just feel a lot of joy just from running and being like, I'm running, I'm like alive. Even when playing handball, like I don't really know what I was doing, but I was running and I was feeling good. But that's not the same if I'm losing. So here's the thing. So when we play basketball here, for example, they don't keep count of score. They just play. Like, and it's not as fun. So the question is why? So the same way coffee might give you that extra little high, I think keeping score actually gives a little high. And it does. I mean, not think. I know it gives a little high. I love winning. Like, I love playing with that competitive edge to win. But if you take the competitiveness out of it, basketball to me seems like, I mean, all these sports seem pointless to me if you don't keep score. But then that's the question. What are you really playing for? Is it that high of I want to win and therefore I'm going to push myself? Or is it the high of like genuinely like mastering the craft of the sport? The craft of basketball doesn't have that much to do with score, right? It's more of like a spiritual journey of like the perfection of the sport. So like you could be working on that perfection of that craft, but be playing against Kobe and get crushed, and that's fine. And also I want to shout out how this is proof that humans can change. I would have never used Kobe Bryant in that sentence had it been 2000 and I don't know 8 or 7. I would have said LeBron. So the fact that I even said Kobe to start that sentence is pretty sick. But it's just interesting because it's like, would I continue playing these games if there was no winning, right? Like, what would Catan be like if there was no winner? What would Civ be like? What would Portal be like if there was no, like, you won? But then it's, like, interesting because it's like, how much has my brain been attached to winning to do anything? How much am I doing things just to win rather than play? But I don't think I care all that much about winning per se, but I care about the pursuit of winning. Like, if I don't win, that's fine, but I really enjoy trying to win, actually. Like, if you're just crushing it, it's not that fun. I'm playing Civ on the one level easier than the middle one, standard, like one easier than standard, and like, I'm winning, I'm destroying them. But I'm like, this doesn't feel fun, this feels like bullying. So it's like, I don't really care just to win, but I care about the difficult pursuit to win. And that feels really good. But it's kind of, I remember when I used to play a lot of 2K, I remember there was like one crazy comeback win and it was insane, and I was like, this is the peak. There is no like higher high that comes from this game than I just felt right now, right? I remember with 2K, I was like, what am I doing for? I was like grinding to get to like that top whatever thing, and so the question becomes, is competitiveness just a useless thing? Which is I don't know what the full philosophy of K schools are, but something along those lines of there's no competition. One, I think that's incorrect because the why is because to get into the school itself, there is an application. I want to talk to someone a little bit more about how to apply to the school and get in, but there's an application process, which unless we'd have to define what a competition is, but I believe I define an application to be competitive. There is a cutting out of students and not. So it's like when the entry point itself is competitive, you can't say, okay, we're going to have a competition to get in here, but once you're in here, there's no competition. That doesn't make sense. Because it's like if you're a person who doesn't believe in competition from day one, you wouldn't even apply to the school then. Or anything for that matter with. So okay, so we'd have to define what competitive means, and I'm assuming he probably does. But what does it mean to you? Let's start there. Competition means, because I haven't done too many things that are super competitive in my life, but I would say applying to college felt competitive. I would say applying to a job feels competitive. I would say getting on a team, or when I did drama and I didn't got that terrible role, that felt competitive. All the times I've been rejected from different organizations, whatever, those all felt competitive. So the question is there healthy competition? Which I think there is. So for example, but then, okay, so it only becomes healthy if the goal is to improve at something. So let's say I want to be better at X skill, and then me and my friend are like, okay, let's just take the podcast example. I want to be the best podcaster in the world. It would be helpful to take Joe Rogan as a competition. Like, okay, how can I learn from you and then be better? And then especially if it's like a friend, or not even a friend, but someone you can bounce competition off of. Okay, you one up me. Okay, let me watch you. Well, let me, kind of on that. Then it's like that seems like a healthy competition if the goal is to be better. But competition in itself, I think, drives a sense of discontentment. And so I guess what really matters is, can you be competitive while being content with where you are? But that's a bigger question of like, can you want to be better while being content, right? Like that's a whole kind of that whole discussion. So I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I mean, what would life be like if I wasn't so competitive on things that didn't matter? So, for example, if I was only competitive about, you have to be competitive sometimes. So, for example, if there's one grain of biscuit left, and maybe these type of arguments are honestly hella dumb. Like, I feel like these but no, you know what? I can remember that one Chettiar retreat when they said there's one lunch left, and then there's three of us, and we all just dashed to it to go get it first. They're like, we're just kidding, there's three. I just remember that moment being like, that kind of showed like something about the human spirit of like, damn, if there's only one of something left and there's many people fighting for it, the one who just does best, or perhaps the question then becomes, is the person who's most competitive the best? That's, I guess, the real question. Is there some correlation between how competitive you are to how good you are at something? And I'm assuming there's probably a bell curve on that. The people who are too competitive probably get lost in like the desire to win more than they are in the desire to learn. So like I remember in chess tournaments when I was a kid, when I'd lose, I'd cry in the car and be like, "Mama, I don't want to play anymore." I'd be hella upset. And to me, that represents a lot of, even this time when Sava's grandpa beat me, I was really pissed. I was really, really, like, just really mad. Unnecessarily mad and sad. I was like, I don't want to lose. And it begs this question of, like, it begs this question of, I just got sidetracked. I just, was thinking about what she's doing. You kind of, yeah, so it's on a bell curve of how useful is competitiveness. And so I think that level of competition is not useful. And then the version where you're like, I don't want to do anything competitive, which most things are going to be competitive. I mean, not everything can, maybe, I mean, maybe it's possible everything can really just be internal and about you. But it's like, how do you draw inspiration? Like, I don't know. It forces you to do better. But I guess if you don't value being better and all you value is like self contentment, then like, yeah, maybe competition altogether is like not useful. But yeah, if let's say for example, your goal is to just perfect something, and that's like that's all you're set towards. Like whatever that means to you, like perfect the art of pottery, which I did today for the first time, which was really cool. I'm gonna miss some of the kids here, honestly. Like a lot of the fourth and fifth grade kids here, I'm gonna miss them. They were pretty cool. They were pretty cool. I would love to take a picture with them, but I need to ask like what the protocol is with that. Maybe they'd be okay with it. But yeah, so I'll ask. Maybe I'll take a class with the whole class or something. I'll ask. What is this? Oh, there's another sticker on this. There is? Oh, that's a lie. Yeah, there is. Yeah. Oh, that's sick. Like, this is for the E support. That's a vibe. So I can, like, peel this off. Can I stick it somewhere? Nice, that's a vibe. Oh, that might just be E support, but not, like, connected to this laptop. Let me see. Get rid of this for my laptop. So yeah, so that's on competition. I don't know if I really said anything. But yeah, I'm trying to think about, what competition means to me. So in Batman being so bad, I don't want to let that affect me. Like, I'm just playing with people who are really, really good. And good just means better than me. I don't know if they're good. If they played against someone in the Olympics, they'd get trashed. I think. I don't know, maybe they're really nice. But, like, that's kind of just like the thing with league, chess, everything. And I think it's something you still have to develop a lot of. Because it's like, I think what happens is you start thinking you're good. So I play chess and I'm like 1400, I'm doing 2500, 3000 level puzzles. I'm like, damn, I'm nice at this. Like, I'm good at chess. And then I play against people who are better than me and then I get whooped. And then the part that hurts is the part where that narrative of like, I am good gets defeated. And then I'm like, damn, my identity is shattered because I'm no longer good. And so that's like the same thing with like being bad at badminton. I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough because like I'm not strong enough, and then that's because of my legs and I'm not good enough. I'm not deserving of love. It somehow always gets back to that. And so I feel like this concept of being good or bad is really tied into your identity. You believe you're someone who's capable of being good at everything you do, which I think is a great thing to believe. But I also think you have to give yourself the grace to kind of be like, okay, well, I'm not good at everything. I don't know how to, do pottery, for example. That was really hard. There's a belief that you can just hop into anything and just be good at it at the first time you do it. And I know you also have the ability of like being like, okay, you can get better the more you do, but you expect a certain level of standard from yourself when you first hop into anything. And I think that part has to go. You have to really be like, I'm going to start from a beginner. And when you have that expectation, right, I'm going to start as if I'm a 10-year-old child. Then when you have that expectation, all of a sudden you're really good at everything you do. And so it's okay to start at badminton where you are. I mean, you play against these other kids, you're much better. It's okay to start there and then see where it goes next. Like slow progression, I think. Like if you kind of have that viewpoint of like, okay, let me start where everyone else. Let me expect myself to perform at the level of an 8-year-old for every new thing I try. And then when I'm not at that level, which I won't be surprised, and then see where you can go from there. But have the expectation to be at literally 0. Don't have your expectation be at like, out of 100, like a 50. Like, don't expect to be at a 60, right? So yes, okay, so that's on competition. I mean, we can now talk about insecurity. So my teeth are yellowing, and this girl came up to me, and she's like, why is your teeth yellow? I don't know, I felt like very insecure by that moment. And at first I was like, damn. I don't know, I was like upset at the dentist. I was upset. I was like, why? I was looking at everyone else's teeth. I was like, no one else's teeth are yellow. Why is this happening to mine? It's because of that little mouthwash thing she gave me. It says on it too. And I'm like, like, what if like no one loves me because my teeth are yellow? And and then I kind of used it as like, okay, let's take this challenge as an opportunity to like learn. Like, let's think about, what insecurity means to you. And I think a lot of this stuff comes back to feeling like you're not deserving of love. But when I was around Lakshmi and like her family, that was the first time in my life I really felt loved. Like I really, really, really felt loved. You know, I don't know how to explain it. I was just very like, damn, I'm loved as fuck here. And they're loving people, that's the difference. It's not like they're just hella loving. Lakshmi's just a loving ass person. Like hella loving. And so I don't know, that's why I really want to go back to Bangalore. That was the happiest I've been in a long time. And I'm like, damn, I think there's something there and I shouldn't just, keep looking for this journey. So I think after I finish Pondicherry, December 2nd to December 9th, I think I'll go to Bangalore. And I'm excited. 7 more days will be nice with her, actually. It will be very nice. But yeah, I mean, this trip has 2 months and 14 days left. So I guess like it's important to also reflect on like what it is. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking like, what are you gonna do? And I feel like these last couple, I have shorts on, don't worry. These last couple, this week especially, and after getting to Pune, has been like really intense in just like feeling free. Like I'm out of Tamil Nadu, one. I'm like really free. But like then what, right? Like what do you do with all this freedom? Because the thing is like I don't think that's a life I want to live. Just like free from I want responsibility. I want to be tied down to activities, to things, to a role in a community. I don't want to just be a free bird. I think it's cool to experience that, to experience freedom and experience like what it's like to just wander around like a nomad. Because it's important. I think you can't not do that. Because that way you get to meet people, you get to try things, you get to have experiences. It's cool. But there is something also very beautiful about having stability and having kind of, I don't even want to use the word stability. What does stable even mean, man? I mean, nobody's mind is stable. Even if they're day to day stable, no single person I know has a very stable mind. So it's like I don't think people, even with routine lives, I would consider them, having stability. Because stability is from your balance on your feet to your mental stability. Like there's so many levels to stable. A horse stable. But yeah, what's interesting? No one gives a fuck about me, which I think is like, a real truth of the world. That like you record these things, I think, and there was a while where you were lost in like maybe someone will watch this when you're dead. But like honestly, I don't think so. Like, I genuinely don't think anyone's watching this after you die. Like maybe, it would be great. To even think, right as I said that, I was like, damn, what if one person watches these and like is hearing me say this? Like I'm talking to you. Let me look you dead in the eye. I'm talking to you. Hi. I'm dead now. How are you? It's quite dark and empty here. I don't really know. I hope I get reincarnated. I think I am. I'm in the process. I see my next body. Like I don't know. Like it's just like, dude, but there's nobody cares. I think like just like my expectation of like how great I was gonna be and whatever. Like not even. Yeah, Milan used the word great in one of those conversations we had. And maybe that is what I was searching for. I wanted to be great. And I guess like this trip has just made me like reconsider what great means. There's a lot of great people on this planet. Like a lot. The people doing the work, at one all, wow, Varsha's an amazing human being. She's gonna be like some notable, everyone knows her. Like Varsha is one hell of a human. Truly. Like there are a lot of really awesome, amazing people on this planet. But everyone's name is just nominal. You're just, I don't even know if that's the right word. I tried to throw a GRE word in there. I don't even know if that's the right use of it. But like, it's just, these videos truly have to be for yourself. Everything you do has to be for yourself. It really cannot be for another person. And while the impact may, spread out, who knows what does what, you can't live your life for other people. And I think like these videos, everything, it just can't no longer be. And I think, not having this out on the internet and having it for a year really gives me a little bit of freedom. I mean, imagine it was 10 years. I could say whatever I want. I'd be like, dude, no. By the time I see this video, I'm going to be so different. It doesn't matter what I say, right? Like even a year, I'm like, okay, well, I can think of a year from now. I probably have a hunch of where I am. 10 years, I have no idea where I'll be. I could be doing anything in 10 years. I mean, truly, I have no idea. Which is pretty exciting. And also, okay, so like it is scary, but like why is it scary, right? Where is that fear originating from? Another thing that's happened in these last few days is I feel like I've been like a bad person in some ways. I am a bad person. Is that like okay to say? Like I don't think I'm a good person. I think I need to like lose that kind of belief. I'm not good. But I'm also not bad. I think I'm just a person with a lot of flaws. And perhaps that's okay. Like truly. Maybe it's okay to just be a flawed person. You don't have to be perfect. You can try, but it's okay to not be. I had two incidents. I had two incidents where I feel like I fell short of what I think. I think when you feel bad is you have a moral compass designed for yourself. When you kind of fail out of your own moral compass is when you're like, okay, that's, not good. So I think I did that twice. This one girl I hate when people like kind of gatekeep being Indian from me, like as if like they're the kind of, you are Indian, here's a card, I will give it to you. I hate when people do that because I know my dad used to do that and maybe still will, but I hate when people do that. So, and to be 100% honest, I'm not sure how much of this trip itself, really thinking about it, has been inspired by that. To really be like, dang, like you keep taking me being Indian away from me. Let me see what it really is. Let me do things you haven't done. And so here I am. But maybe he can, maybe he still will take it away from me. Maybe he'll still be like, you're not Indian. You don't know anything about your roots, blah, 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 that whole thing. There's one conversation I should really remember. I think we were in Orlando and we were like driving somewhere. And I was just like, what does it mean to be Indian? Like, I mean, really, what does it mean? Why am I not Indian? I mean, yeah, let's think about it. The way you think is different, but is your thinking what makes you an Indian? Like, there are a lot of things about my thinking that are Indian. I mean, today I was eating at dinner and at lunch, and I was the only one eating with my hands. All the other Indians around me were eating with spoons. I was like, damn, like you guys are good. Like, but does that what makes you Indian? You eat with your hands. Like, what is it that makes you Indian? But it's not, everyone's not Indian, so there's something, right? It's not like anybody can just be like, I'm Indian. So it's like a mix of like your appearance, your characteristics, your personality. Like, why can't I be Indian and American? Which I guess is the concept of Indian American. But like, I'm Indian as fuck. Like, I don't want to raise my kids to be just straight American. I actually don't even know if I want to really raise my kids to be American at all. To be honest, when I think about what it means to be American, there's a few things I think I am a fan of. The freedom and courage is something I really like, right? The ability to and that all of these things really I think stem from education more than it does anything else. I mean, the school systems in a country really kind of shape the people who come out of it. The people at this school are more American than they're very American in my definition of what it means. If I had to pick an ideology that comes with being American, these people are very American. But all that means is like, what does that really mean? I mean, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean anything. All it really means is like an open-mindedness, progressive, temperament somehow is American. But that's not even true. There's a lot of very conservative people in the U.S. So it's like, but I think one thing everyone in the U.S. agrees on, I guess, is like freedom, of like don't get in my space. But even then, I feel like a lot of people on the left are a lot more. Maybe the one thing that combines a lot of Americans, but this is I was gonna say is that they like love America. But even that's not really true. There's not really a love for America. So yeah, so then even the definition of being American, I think, is very so vague. So I don't know. But yeah, so this girl kind of gatekeep my identity, and I snapped at her because she's been doing it all week. And I was like, "You're being racist," because she had said some like Hindi sweet that I didn't know, and I was like, What is it?" She's like, "You don't know? I'm not gonna explain it to a foreigner." And I got hella mad. I was like, "You racist fuck." I was like, "You racist fuck." And then I was like, dude, like you can't like I'm South Indian, like not everyone knows Hindi. Like I was just like, I don't know what you said. Can you just explain it to me? And I think she got kind of like sad slash scared. I don't know what she felt. Then I felt bad because she like stood up, and then she explained it to me very soft, sweetly. And then she was like, I'm gonna like eat. I felt really bad at that point, but I was like, she was being such an asshole before then. And the second I got a little upset, she like got like super like, oh my god, I'm so like soft. Like it's I mean, I'm soft for getting upset to begin with. But I mean, she hit a trigger. I didn't need to be upset, but I got upset. Um, but it's, yeah, something you're gonna have to, yeah, you get angry. I used, I didn't have a reason to get angry for a long time. But I feel like now dealing with Saba this week, where we had like the most, I feel like I had one of the most toxic moments of my recent history, and this situation just back to back. I'm just like, damn, I still have that anger in me. I'm angry at something or someone, and I seem to take it out. So something you have to work on. Like you have to, I guess you have to, but you don't have to. But it's something you should at least introspect. You don't have to worry. You don't have to be better, but introspect on it and see where it comes from. You don't have to change it, but see where it originates from, and then that will lead you on its own journey. But yeah, I can keep talking, but 32 minutes. So I mean, think about that. Reflect on that. What right now makes you want to get up? I want to get up because I need to shower. I need to shower. I want to shower, and then I want to go eat at 7. But I can, shower. I can go anytime between to eat dinner at 7 to 8:30 or whatever. There's a part of me that's afraid that I'll just like fall in love with just talking and just keep talking. That's another thing actually that's come up as of late. I was having this conversation with Rajesh, and he was just talking about he. I know I'll forget this in the future. He's a bald one at Sayadri. He had said something, and I had said something along the lines of like I need to like talk more to myself, and he was like, or listen. Well, a very simple thing, but dude, I have never like that was so profound to me. I was like, I've never thought about the fact that I need to listen to myself. What? I've only thought like I need to like instruct myself. I need to talk to myself. I've never just been like, what happens if I open it up to listen? And so even this, I'm realizing there's like multiple layers to my like consciousness. So one level is my talking self. So like this one who's like talking. Then there's the one that I'm like talking to. So it's like, let me think about this. So it's like I'm talking like, hey, like I'm talking. Like when I'm instructing, like when I'm like, Gautam, do this, don't do that, do blah, blah, like all that constant self-talk that I have throughout my day, all day. That's like one brain talking to another working consciousness. Because I'm not talking to like my like soft self. And then there's like this like softer voice. That's the person you have to listen to. That's like the inner Gautam that like doesn't get heard enough. The more empathetic, probably loving, caring, blah blah blah. The soft one. And that one is like this. And it barely gets to make sound. And I'm having a hunch that my masturbation is often that little sound saying, please pay attention to me. And then it's sending signals because that's the only way I pay attention to it. That's the only time I like pay attention to like my like instinct. And I was thinking about why that's the case. I feel like so much of my life I've been telling myself that my instincts are wrong because I feel like I was brought up with a lot of fear. I was brought up with, so I'm like telling myself, okay, you feel fear, don't feel it, or like you can do better, you can do whatever, do different. But I feel like now my senses are more tuned to like my actual reality, my reality. And so it directs me in a better way. So it's but now a good time to no longer just like silence those and like actually listen to it. And so like I want to not talk so much. Like I mean even this conversation is how I typically talk throughout my day, but it's talking to that other brain. I need to like just silence and listen, right? Like listen to your heart when it's telling you something. Listen to your heart, heart, heart. I don't know why. Listen to your heart. So yeah, so I'm gonna write on my notebook every time I masturbate a reflection piece on why, what made me feel like that. And so tonight when I get home from dinner, I want to think about what I wanted to do because that's I'm not gonna play Civ because that's not been working. So I have a few options. I can draw, I can phone a friend, or I can read. So with phoning a friend, who would I call that would make me feel better? I don't want to philosophize right now. I just want to be loved. I feel like I'm dying. I mean, I am dying. I feel like I'm a bit more acutely aware of it. Also, it's totally possible I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, as of 2023, when I watch this, or if whatever, I'm not gonna watch, but when I think about who I am 2033, I'm gonna be like, dude, 25-year-old Gotham didn't know shit. 10 years ago, I was 15. Okay? 10 years ago, I was fucking 15. I was a sophomore in high school. I was starting sophomore year in high school. Okay? In these 10 years, a lot has fucking happened. A lot. I mean, a lot, dude. Can you try to even imagine that little boy? That was before my first kiss. I got my first kiss on Valentine's Day of this year. 10 years ago, okay? A lot's happened. In 10 years from now, you're gonna be 35. You're gonna be in a very different headspace, around very different people, in a very different context. Each one of these phases is temporary. Remember that. Your 20s is temporary. Everyone tries to make you rush through life. Let me experience this phase for what it is. another face. Okay? Alright, I love you. You got this. I love you. Just relax. I love you. I feel like you need to hear that more often in your life. I love you. Okay? You matter. You are important. In your own life, in your own way. You don't need to do any great thing. I love you. Just really understand your inner experience and be more aware of it and be acute of your impact on just every small little thing you do in the day. You don't need to be so big, just be small and intentional rather than big and kind of just all over the place, okay? Take it back in. You are doing fine. I love you. Okay? You are fine. I love you. Okay, thank you.